This episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World is brought to you by Tasken, the first name in premium quality travel gear, with slim, stylish gear like the Tasken Edge professional laptop backpack for business and travel. Order now at TaskenSF.com. Next up on an all-new Rick and Rick,
we're counting down our favorite TV shows from the 2010s
as we celebrate the best of the decade that was 2010 through 2019. Okay, so next topic, best TV show of the last decade. What's your runner-up?
Well, I mean, I struggled on this one. To be honest with you, a couple that ended up falling off my list, and it was a struggle, was like Mad Men. I forgot that movie or that TV series was in this decade, and it was amazing. The same thing with Parks and Recreation and Community. These are, TV shows that I'll tell you, just absolutely had me in stitches.
Yeah.
But for my runner-up, I picked a fairly new show, which is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that show, quite a bit, and I just absolutely love it. I love the kind of throwback to the 1980s time frame. I like kind of the premise of the story, and the acting is just amazing, especially for kids. And so I have a lot of fun with that one. And then number one, I had to go with Game of Thrones, and I'm sure that does not surprise you. And we talked about this before. Game of Thrones is one of those shows where I hadn't read any of the books. I watched the first season, and I was totally lost. And I'm usually pretty good about following storylines, but I just couldn't. There were too many different characters and all that. And I went back and I went through all the books. I picked them up on Audible and went through all the books, and came back and rewatched one through the end, and absolutely loved it. And it's not the same story that was in the books. It's largely the same, but there's enough different because they had to truncate it and focus on certain plot lines and ignore other ones, that it actually was almost like a different show to me, and I really enjoyed it for that.
Yeah, that's a good call. I can totally see why that would be a favorite. I think a lot of people would make that their favorite. It was an obsession. None of my obsessions, except my runner-up, is kind of a tie. I really could not land on one, but Stranger Things, pretty much all seasons. That started in 2016, but up through the latest season, I've really loved it. And Flash Season 1 from 2015, Flash. I felt like that first season was fantastic. I've never been able to live up to that. I knew it wouldn't at the time. I was so surprised by that first season. As a DC Comics fan, I just really loved it. But my number one is the TV show where I was just devouring it as quickly as I could get it, and I hated it when I finally caught up with it and had to wait each week, was Westworld Season 1, October 2016. I could not wait for each new episode. For the first 5 episodes, I want to say, I didn't realize that Men in Black and the younger versions of them were the same people, or that they were showing us different time periods. So I really enjoyed the storytelling there. Season 2 I liked, but Season 3 looks especially promising, so I hope that'll be fun. That first season, I absolutely loved that show, so that would have to be my number one for the last decade.